All right. Hey, well, welcome everybody. We are on, what are we on? Day 81, March 22nd. It's Monday.
Yep.
Happy Monday to everybody. My name is Alex Johnson. I'm our executive pastor, and I've got my buddy here, Tyler Sargent.
What's up, everyone?
Say hi, Tyler. There you go. So, Tyler, there's a little, kind of some fun little things about us that we were laughing about earlier. So, my wife, Elaine, is a twin.
Yeah.
Whoops. Your wife, Carly.
Twin.
So we're both married to twins. You have twin little girls.
Identical girls. Yeah. 2.5.
And I don't even know what the odds are of twins to twins. What's
It's in the millions.
the millions?
Especially because they're identical. We actually have good odds, though, for our next pregnancy, if God blesses us with that they would be fraternal twins. So
Wow.
we'll see.
Interesting. Now, here's the funny part is, so my wife's a twin. She's not an identical twin. She's a fraternal twin. But her and her twin sister, Addie, they send each other this like almost identical gifts.
Mm-hmm.
They will make stuff, like they're both really creative, and it will be like the same drawing or artist thing on a pot or a thing. It's hilarious to see how they do that. And you were saying Carly and her twin are not
Very different. Look very different. Wouldn't even be able to tell that they're siblings, honestly, let alone twins.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so you're a Bible scholar from Central Washington University over in Ellensburg, right?
Yeah.
And you are a veteran. You're a Navy or helicopter pilot in the Navy.
Yes, I was. Yep.
Well, thank you for your service, and
Appreciate it.
Thanks for doing that for all those years. So now you're in the what do you call yourself? What world are you in?
Medical device
Okay.
world.
There we go.
So
Medical device.
local
world.
hospitals quite a bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, cool. Well, all right. So let's get into it. Here we are. We're at Numbers, chapter 33 is where we are. I'm going to say real quick, though, before we get into Monday. Yesterday, in case we missed it, because they don't even talk about it today, which is odd to me, Aaron died
Yeah.
yesterday. At the end of the reading of the Old Testament, Aaron died. And then today we get into it, and it's the Israelites are now on the move.
Right.
So let's talk about this. We were having fun, and what are your observations about this?
Yeah. So my big takeaway, I mean, a lot of camping, how that relates to me and my life quite a bit is something we do as a family when we go traveling or whatever it may be. I'm always on the move, making the family or Carly, my wife, pack up each night, even if we're in the same town. We have to go stay at a different hotel, different cabin, different campsite. Even if we're backpacking, we got to move campsites. And we just try to get the most out of everywhere we go. So kind of how I can relate that to this is you really can gain a lot from taking in more than just staying in one place when you're on a journey. So that's something that we've gotten a lot of out of our vacations from.
Well, and it goes back to your Jewish heritage of being an Israelite yourself, right?
Yeah.
I'm laughing. I'm sitting here saying, I've never vacationed that way. So my family has a home we go to and we stay at, and yet you would be like, nope, we're out. We're going to go somewhere else.
I'd go nuts. Yeah.
You've moved how many times?
We're coming up on our 21st move. My 21st move, that is. But yeah.
Okay. And how old are you?
34. Yeah.
Okay. Do the numbers, folks. Yeah. That's a lot of moves, right?
Yeah.
That's impressive. Now, obviously, you had a number of moves when you're in the Navy and stuff. So,
Sure.
So that took up quite a bit. But
good half of them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. I mean, when we were talking about looking at all these moves that they were doing, you're right. As they're moving through, the Israelites are moving through, and part of it is God had them on the move for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But then here he is, and he's getting them ready now to enter the promised land. Talk about that a little bit, about as God, as what he was doing there, so the laws he was creating, the kind of the protection of them, of what he was doing. You had some really good observations with that.
Yeah. So the takeaways I had is, I mean, there's real clear boundaries being set geographically, as well as just black and white rules and laws. And I feel like that could be such a blessing in many societies today to have these guidelines, and it's just cut and dry. There's no gray area. So depending on how the murder was committed, there's a clear response to that and punishment to that. Whereas in this day of society, we've kind of molded laws to what suits us best over the centuries. And you can get out of a lot of trouble with
you got the right attorney,
lawyer,
right?
Yeah.
It changes everything, which is just it's fascinating. And it's, as you look in here, and I've kind of written some stuff down, and granted, we are kind of moving past some of this stuff. It was rather harsh what God instructed the Israelites to do when they were moving into this land. Wipe everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Either they're gone and they leave, or they're going to be killed. Take out all their idols, right? Wipe out the pagans, get rid of all those idols. But then at the end, he talks about that he's doing this to ensure that the land will not be polluted. Mm-hmm. For murder pollutes the land. And at times, we look at our society we're in now, and it's kind of like, okay, I wonder, is there a reason that we're going through some of this stuff? And these are questions we'll never be able to answer here. I'm not trying to get in it, but I think it will be interesting just to see when we get to heaven of God's plan. I do believe God's in control of everything, even in the midst of chaos that we might be as a world living in with terrorists and different stuff. So any final thoughts on our Old Testament reading?
Nope.
No? Okay. All right. Let's jump into Luke. So we got a couple different healings here that happen with Luke. We jump in and we start with leprosy is where we get. And what I took out of that was that Jesus right away, it talks about how he heals him, tells him not to talk about it. Of course, the guy goes and talks about it, but Jesus withdraws to the wilderness to pray. And man, there must be, like, to me, it's just another reminder, the power of prayer. Mm-hmm. If Jesus needed to get away to pray, why do I not get away to pray more often?
Right.
Like, that was my reminder. You had one about the paralyzed guy.
Yeah. So just such a great example of extreme faith and just the confidence that the guys had to lower their friend down through the roof to the extent of coming up on top, ripping the tiles off. Just a good reminder for me to kind of try to live by that sort of extreme faith. If there's something in between Jesus and I, what extent am I going to go to try to get to him? And especially with a group of friends like that, that was another powerful piece of it, is their faith together. Maybe the person being lowered down to the ground what didn't even have that same kind of faith, but his friends did. So is that a way we can live just to get someone we know to Jesus to be healed?
To live with faith like that. I mean, the boldness. My world, I don't see a lot of boldness like that. In fact, in Luke, it talked about where Luke identified that Jesus saw their faith. Right now, he calls out and says, "You to the man who was paralyzed will be healed." But Luke made a point to say, because of their faith, which would be his friends lowering. And think about it. I mean, these buddies ripped off the roof. I mean, stuff obviously was falling down onto the people. It was already a crowded house because they couldn't get in there. You got the Pharisees watching, which, again, that's the whole other part of this story, which I love, is that Jesus is just antagonizing these guys. I just find that hilarious. But just that boldness, it kind of, I'll say it's inspiring. I mean, it kind of inspires me of what do I need to do for a friend that doesn't know Jesus? What do you need to do for a friend that doesn't know Jesus? What kind of boldness is God calling us to through this? I think it's more than just going to church and trying to cut a hole in this metal roof above us here and lowering somebody down. Now, if that's what it takes to get your friend to church, then talk to us first, would you? So what, I don't know, any other final thoughts on Luke?
I mean, honestly, like if you have that kind of faith in Jesus, what's holding you back from getting your friend through that door? I mean, why is it so challenging? I mean, we all go through it trying to get our friends through the door, and it's a lot more simple than this example. Yeah.
I love it as he goes through that Jesus then just kind of, I don't know if he was an antagonist with these Pharisees or what, but he goes and gets Levi, the tax collector, as he leaves here. He's already been questioned. He's literally, Jesus is finishing the thoughts of the Pharisees as they're questioning of how he can heal a man for his sins. And it's like Jesus is just poking at him, right? Just picking a fight a little bit, but he's not. And then it's kind of a spoiler alert because I don't know who's doing tomorrow, but I just love the fact that he's going to just go to a big old party with these guys and with the tax collector and all of his friends tomorrow and just stir the pot. Yeah. Like, amen, brother. Like, that's awesome, Jesus. I just love it. All right. So we jump up to Psalms. Yeah. Let's jump into there.
So I have some notes written down here. really enjoyed the vivid descriptions that they had or David had of God's awesomeness, and the things that they were grateful for in those days. Just really is good to reflect upon when we're complaining about some of the things. I mean, there was 3 references to rain and how grateful and how awesome God is for providing rain. I know I frequently complain about the rain, especially this time of year. And all I can think about is when spring is coming.
When
so
the sun will be out again. Hopefully soon.
And when they're referring to it as such a blessing, and the fact is it really does provide life for us here on earth. So just being grateful for that rain from God, as hard as it may be sometimes.
It's kind of a reminder. Here we take it for granted. Just even our weather in general, we can take for granted. Just of that, where we don't get much snow here. My parents spend the winter in Idaho, where they get a ton of snow. I sent my mom a picture the other day of our place, and she's like, "It's so green," and she sends a picture back, and I'm like, "Oh, all the snow, right?" Like we both can get kind of it's kind of stuck in our thing. But no, I think that's a good reminder for us Seattleites.
Yeah.
So
whenever you focus on a complaint, see what you could be thankful instead.
It's good. That's good. All right, Proverbs, wrap us up. You like this one?
Yeah, I really liked throughout this whole endeavor. I feel like there hasn't been a lot of verses that were just set aside for one single verse. And this one, Proverbs 11, the godly can look forward to a reward, while the wicked can expect only judgment. I think if there is a verse to be set aside, this is truly a statement to live your life by. A great reminder to just not only instill in yourself, but in your family and in your kids. It's pretty cut and dry. There's not, like we referred to earlier, black and white, no gray area. This is one of those verses where you live by this and just wake up and tell yourself that. I mean,
yeah, it ties us right back into numbers, doesn't it?
Yep.
Just of the right way to live. So, well, good. All right, Tyler. Hey, thanks for joining us. I appreciate your insight and being here. So, hey, thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Have a good week.